Good evening. I'm a scientist and an educator and a medical doctor, and I'm here today to talk to you about the joy of personalized learning, or as I like to call it, the joy of one-size-fits-you learning. And in order to do that, I'm going to talk about a virtual hospital in Minecraft. Yes, that same Minecraft that your children, your nieces and nephews, and perhaps even you, just can't stop playing. But in this version, instead of gathering resources and fighting zombies, players are diagnosing patients, they're reviewing lab results, and they're learning medical science in a fully interactive and gamified environment. Now, this isn't just some fun gimmick. This is an always accessible, personalized, expertly curated educational tool. And our team is using this tool to prepare medical students to take the medical college admissions test, the MCAT, to transition into medical school, and to prepare for rewarding careers in healthcare and biotechnology, all within a digital environment that they already love. So, why did we build this? Well, if you go back about 10 years ago, our team was looking for a way to get more students excited about polymer chemistry. So, we decided to build an interactive experience where we would send polymer chemists to local schools. They would take materials, and the students would get to make cool things like oobleck, which is a non-Newtonian fluid that can behave like a liquid and a solid. You can have fun and make it at home with just cornstarch and water and have a good time. This experience worked great. The students loved it, the teachers loved it, and we loved it. But every time we wanted to do it, we had to get the materials ready, send out about 5 people, including PhDs, for a big chunk of the day, just to interact with a few classes. It was a great experience, but it wasn't scalable. And when we looked around, we saw this same thing over and over. A lot of the ways that people were using to try to make education personal and interactive just weren't scalable. We were not alone in this challenge. In fact, in 2008, the National Academy of Engineering listed 14 grand challenges for humanity for the entire 21st century. Among these, they listed advancing personalized learning. This was listed alongside things like harnessing energy from nuclear fusion, engineering better medicines, and providing access to clean water. And interestingly, the National Academy included advancing personalized learning within the category of the joy of living. So why would the National Academy see personalized learning as one of the most important 14 things for humanity for the next century? And the answer is empowerment. When you can learn in a way that's meaningful to you, it gives you the power to shape your own future. When you can learn at your own pace and style, everything changes. Your confidence increases, retention improves, and a vision for a more prosperous future for yourself and your family comes into view. Now, to tackle this grand challenge, humanity has made great progress. Educational content is now more available than ever. You can learn calculus, philosophy, biochemistry, all for free online. Access to content is no longer the bottleneck. But creating trusted, personalized experiences tailored to each student is still the challenge. So to look at how we tackle that, we need to look at the age we're living in, the information age. Information has never been more abundant, more accessible, and more immediate. If you have a question, you can just Google it. If you want to learn a skill, you can take a tutorial on YouTube, a course on Coursera, and there's a subreddit full of enthusiasts and experts. So, this is great. We're living in a golden age of enlightenment, where everyone is more informed, more educated, and more empowered than ever, right? Well, not exactly. Because what we're also living through is the rise of the attention economy, a world where your time, your focus, even your curiosity, they're all commodities. And algorithms don't just deliver information, they deliver engagement. We've created a world where your attention, and not your education, is the product. And what does this look like in practice? Well, in the USA, teenagers spend over 8 hours a day on screens. But as adults, we don't need to worry about that, right? Wrong. Adults spend over 7 hours a day. And what are we watching? Are we watching lectures on molecular biology? Discussions of real-world technical skills? No. We are watching short videos, clickbait headlines, and endless scrolls. This is entertainment curated not for truth, not for education, but for engagement. And this has real-world consequences. Even as access to knowledge has exploded, misinformation spreads faster than ever, trust in experts is eroding, and the pathway from I want to learn something to I've mastered a new skill is cluttered with distractions, contradictions, and noise. So, our team set our sights on trying to solve this issue. And we thought about it like this. How do you build educational experiences that are joyful and personalized? So, let's look at the ingredients needed for joyful learning. The first ingredient is accessibility. For us to look at this, we wanted to compare two experiences, the traditional classroom and video games. In traditional education, with its classrooms and fixed schedules, this can work really well if you're a 19-year-old who is going to school full-time and has the luxury of focusing solely on your studies. But what if you have a job? What if you have kids? What if you're not sure what course you want to take and you're not sure what career path you want to choose? In those cases, the barriers become too high, and it's far easier and far more common to pull out your phone and ask ChatGPT. By contrast, video games break down these barriers. In the same months or years that a high schooler can wait to figure out what school they're going to go to, they can log in and play Minecraft at a moment's notice with their friends any day for just a few bucks a year. The second ingredient is personalization. And here too we see a huge disconnect. Whenever you're giving a lecture, unfortunately, you can only say one thing at a time. If you're tutoring a student as a private tutor, you personalize that lesson to the needs of that student. But what about giving a lecture? Not so much. It is a one-size-fits-all type of thing. Whether you are watching this TED Talk as a lifelong educator, or an AI expert, or as someone who hasn't thought about education since you left school, I will still be saying the same words, at the same pace, with the same level of detail. Personalization is about empowering learners to engage on their own terms. And here too, we see that video games really shine. Even if you're a completely new player who's just downloaded a game that day, or you're a veteran player who's been playing for years, those two players can be right next to each other in the virtual world, and they will be delivered very different experiences based on their skill level. If you were to log into Minecraft today, you may just be learning the ropes. Good job, I encourage you to do it. But across humanity, there are over 200 million people who play Minecraft every month. Collectively, humanity has played Minecraft for over 68 million years. That's enough time that if you were to stack all that playtime linearly, you could literally go back in history and meet the dinosaurs. So, we see in video games experiences that truly are meeting people where they're at, that people choose to do, and that deliver personalized experiences to each person. So, what about learning in a video game? Well, that brings us to the third ingredient, curation by experts. So, in our team's first attempt to curate college-level content into video games, we built polymer chemistry directly into Minecraft. We added over 4,000 materials, chemicals, machines, and new things, and we used this to teach chemistry at UT Dallas and other universities. Students could go in, explore reactions, and build fun things. And what we saw was really amazing. Students loved it. They would go in and play for dozens of hours just to build a cool jetpack and have fun with their friends. And yes, we even saw something extraordinary. Students who weren't in our classes and who weren't even studying chemistry would go log into the game and learn chemical reactions so that they could build flamethrowers and build bases with their friends. We knew we were onto something, but we also knew that the curation wasn't complete. The students were playing through the game on their own, and they were missing something that makes traditional formal learning and on-the-job training So great. They were missing direct mentorship from experts. And now we're solving that problem with artificial intelligence. And that's why we built a virtual hospital in Minecraft. I'm currently building a custom AI agent that doesn't just understand the content, it understands how I teach it. It understands the 100 most common struggles that I've seen students face when they're trying to prepare for the MCAT. And it responds with the same strategies, the same encouragement, and the same real-world examples that I would give if I was sitting next to that student as a private tutor. As players progress in the game, from a lab technician to a medical student, to a resident, and eventually to an attending, they can consult with AI bots. Now, these AI mentors are not just generic chatbots. They are trained with insights from real-world practitioners. We work with surgeons, nurses, and technicians to build scenarios based on their own personal experiences and based on what they wish they had known when they were in training. So when a player struggles in this game, they are met with guidance and advice based on today's real-world experts in the field. So, our first full-length courses are being delivered in this virtual hospital at UT Dallas, but we're not stopping there. We're also building semiconductor fabs and battery research labs and biomanufacturing facilities, all immersive environments where students can learn emerging technologies and real-world skills in joyful, personalized experiences. So, our goal is simple. If we can deliver polished, engaging, expert-driven content in a way that learners voluntarily choose to engage with, we can empower teachers, professors, and industry leaders to compete effectively in the attention economy. We can help real-world experts deliver their wisdom in a way that is personalized to the needs of each learner. In short, I believe that in the very near future, you, your friends, and your nieces and nephews could all choose to log into video games curated by Nobel laureates. And I look forward to a world where the joy of personalized learning is available for all. Thank you.